Welcome back to the news at 10. Now, with the holidays over, it's back to work nationwide and businesses have thrown their doors open. Our correspondents went to some offices in Lagos and Abuja to feel the pulse of workers on the first day at work after the festive period.
Over and work resumes nationwide. Workers are expected to go back to their places of primary assignment, but are they ready for resumption?
A visit to some secretariats indicate that life is gradually returning to the complexes. Workers are seen coming in trickers, some taking time out to chat, while others engage in prayers to kickstart the year. Though the roads are busy, it is nothing in comparison to the usual Monday morning rush. But for this worker, the rest was worth the while.
I did a lot of traveling. I traveled to Calabar, I went for carnival, I went to the village to see my mom, and man, it was awesome. I was on the road like, it was beautiful. I had a nice time.
For me to wake up this morning to come to my office, I know that I'm going to put my best to make my country better.
The holiday may have taken its toll, but for others, it's high time they face the task ahead.
Though psychologically, I might not be ready, but because we Nigerians, we love holidays, but we have to go to work.
I've had time to party, I've had time to reflect, so, it's a new year, new perspectives, new goals. So, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Meanwhile, for some shops and offices, the celebration continues as they are still under locks. It is usually quite easy to get into the holiday mode, but getting out of it, it's a different ball game. Chris Illems, Channels Television News.
First Bank.
Welcome to Business News. Well, financial markets did reopen today. They resumed after the New Year and Eid al-Maulud holidays. Places visited in the Lagos metropolis revealed that workers in financial institutions, private companies and government agencies are back to their daily office activities. However, emerging market shares are headed for a two-week low as currency is set for a full trading week of the year on a negative note. On the Nigerian money market, the Naira opened 1.9% lower at 185 Naira to the dollar. Similarly, the all-share index at the Nigerian stock market opened the year down 2.06% on the first day of trading. Yes, indeed, that first day of trading, today, Monday, was quite negative. The sentiments, as the market indicators closed in the red today. Well, stockbrokers attribute this to the holidays and the ongoing process of price correction. Our correspondent, Temple Lashaji, reports.
The first closing gong in the year after trade operations. The market opens the year bearish by 2.06%, but operators say it's unlike the January effects.
This is the first day in the year, and this is the first time trading the floor. And everybody just, let's say, waking up or starting the year gradually. And that's what has reflected in the market today. There's only very few stocks that are actually trying to show some sign of upward swing. It's because of maybe the volume of trade that are involved.
So what is responsible for the negative sentiment?
If you look at the last trading days of the last year, you will realize that a kind of price surge we experience is very, very monumental. All the macroeconomic factors that is affecting our market negatively, they are still there. There is no positive news from that environment. There has to be a kind of correction of that market.
A scanty trading floor on the very first trading session of the year. It appears the holiday is still hampering bargain hunting in the market. But by the time companies begin to post their earnings for the year ended 2014, it is expected that the equities and bonds as well as ETFs will begin to experience some level of improvements in the exchange. From the Nigerian stock markets, Temple Ashaju Channels Television News.
We'll take it from there. Let's take a look at the summary of today's trading at the Nigerian stock market. And here's Bolaji Akinwale with those results.
Hello, welcome to the Stock Market Report. The first trading day of the year ended with some bearish sentiment as the all-share index dipped by 2.06% to close at 33,943.29. Petroleum markets and stock Seplat topped on the decliners table with 19 naira 51 kobo. Next is Nestle, which lost 16 naira 15 kobo, and then Dangote Cement with a drop of 10 naira in its share price. On the advances list, Total and Owando led with a gain of 6 naira 50 kobo and 1 naira 50 kobo each. On the activity chart, bank stocks made headlines as ETI pulled 97.3 million shares. It came ahead of Guaranty Trust Bank and Zenith Bank. In total, investors staked 5.4 billion naira for 299.4 million shares and traded in 3,803 deals. That's it on the Stock Market Report. I am Bolaji Akinwale.
Thank you, Bolaji. The Central Bank of Nigeria has resumed its bi-weekly foreign exchange sales at the retail Dutch auction system. Well, the Apex Bank closed the window officially on Wednesday, December the 18th, but continued to provide support for the local currency and the interbank forex window to boost the Naira, which has been under pressure owing to speculative trading in the parallel market. The regulator has given the assurance that it will continue to do all it can to protect the local currency, which is trading between 185 and 195 Naira to the dollar at the parallel market. That's it on Business News on the News at 10. We'll leave you with those global markets before Ijoma returns with the rest of the news.
First Bank.
Well, now let's take another look at our lead story on the criticism coming from the former President Olusegun Obasanjo regarding President Jonathan's handling of the revenue accruing from oil. Let's see how he arrives at that conclusion.
It is the first working day of the year 2015. It may somewhat seem strange to find women gracefully dressed on a day like this. The reason, however, is that they are visiting one of the nation's senior citizens. Here in this room are women leaders from the states in the southwestern region of the country. As the women settle down, the host walks in. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the leader of the women representatives, rises to tell the former president the essence of their visit.
Our nation is going by the current atmosphere of palpable fear and uncertainty. Our nation is plagued by insecurity, economic downturn, poverty, corruption, among other myriads of daunting challenges. The unabated nefarious activities of the insurgents, which have placed us as a people on the throes of war, is worrisome to us, because the women folk is the most affected.
With rapt attention after listening to the concerns of the women, Chief Obasanjo starts by commenting on the 2015 election and the need for politicians to exhibit sportsmanship.
Once the election is fair, free, and uninterrupted and uncorrupted, then the verdict is that of the people. And if the people have given their verdict, then if it's in your favor, be grateful to the people, be grateful to God, and serve the people committedly. If it's against you, be a very gallant loser and say, well, look, I tried, but it didn't work.
As the former president goes further in his speech, he gets more emotional as he switches from English to Yoruba language.
Just here, impunity.
In the translation, Chief Obasanjo comes down hard on the present administration and how the economy, the excess crude account have been handled.
Maybe I don't like to say Obuta File Tambuani Lady Batasa Bobo Bisitawa. Almost $25 billion. That is in excess.
Our economy should not be like this. 8 years ago, when we left government, we left huge funds in the government coffers. After we paid all debts, we left almost $25 billion in what they call the excess crude account. All the monies that come as excess from sale of oil, we save it up for the rainy day.
May 2007, one pound $35 billion. Reserve ta file gbati asandogo gbèsè tá jẹ tó fẹ́ tó $40 billion. That's something I do fún wa ní ìdáríjì ìwé àtúntà sùn gbogbo gbèsè táwa kò ju $3 billion lọ. Reserve wa lẹ́yìn bàtà san gbèsè ìtàn ó lé $45 billion. Mo ṣe wí want to continue títí the end of 2007. Gbogbo reserve yẹn fẹ́ dé $67 billion. You are not over there. Reserve one thing, probably around $30 billion. So, Yanni, you fit pay Naira go to $1.
When we left government in 2007, we left about $35 billion, and today the money is totally expended. The account is empty. The funds left in the reserves after we paid all debt owed was about $40 billion, and we were able to pay them, and somehow the debts were written off. Our reserve after paying the debt was about $45 billion. That fund in the reserve grew to about $67 billion, and the reserve, from what I gathered, has now shrunk to about $30 billion. And that is one of the consequences of the devalued Naira. Chief Obasanjo and his wife are then presented with gifts by the visitors. And as the women depart the Obasanjo residence, they may have a lot to ponder on, given the words of the elder statesman. Sheung Okimbale, Channels Television News.
Next on the news at 10, despite a 5-2 victory in a test match, Super Eagles assistant coach Daniel Amokachi says more work needs to be done, and that will be on sports. He joins us again.